January 13, 2022, Adolf Hitler declares total war against the Allies. The Spoitpolist speech, German, Sportpalistrede, or Total War speech, was a speech delivered by German propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels at the Berlin Spoitpolist to a large, carefully selected audience on the 18th of February 1943, as the tide of World War II was turning against Nazi Germany and its Axis allies. It is considered the most famous of Joseph Goebbels' speeches. The speech was the first public admission by the Nazi leadership that Germany faced serious dangers. Goebbels called for a total war, German, totale Krieg, to secure victory over the Allies, and exhorted the German people to continue the war even though it would be long and difficult because, as he asserted, both Germany's survival and the survival of a non-Bolshevist Europe were at stake. After the Axis defeat in late 1942 at the Second Battle of El Alamein in Egypt, a turning point of World War II in Europe occurred on the 2nd of February 1943 as the Battle of Stalingrad ended with the surrender of Field Marshal Friedrich Paulus and the German Sixth Army to the Soviets. At the Casablanca Conference in January, Franklin D. Roosevelt and Winston Churchill had demanded Germany's unconditional surrender, and the Soviets, encouraged by their victory, were beginning to retake territory, including Kursk, the 8th of February, Rostov, the 14th of February, and Kharkiv, the 16th of February. After the Axis defeats in Egypt and the subsequent loss of Tripoli, 23rd of January, 1943, the Russian setbacks shook Axis morale. In the Pacific, the Americans had just completed their months-long reconquest of Guadalcanal. Adolf Hitler responded with the first measures that would lead to the all-out mobilization of Germany. Prior to the speech, the government closed restaurants, clubs, bars, theaters, and luxury stores throughout the country so that the civilian population could contribute more to the war. The setting of the speech in the Spoitpolist placed the audience behind and under a big banner bearing the all-capital words Totale Krieg, Kürzester Krieg, Total War, Shortest War, along with Nazi banners and Nazi swastikas, as seen in pictures and film of the event. Although Goebbels claimed that the audience included people from all classes and occupations, including soldiers, doctors, scientists, artists, engineers and architects, teachers, white-collars, the propagandist had carefully selected his listeners to react with appropriate fanaticism. Goebbels said to Albert Speer that it was the best-trained audience one could find in Germany. However, the enthusiastic and unified crowd response recorded in the written version is, at times, not fully supported by the recording. He then justified the austerity measures enacted, explaining them as temporary measures. Historically, the speech is important in that it marks the first admission by the party leadership that they were facing problems, and launched the mobilization campaign that, arguably, prolonged the war, under the slogan, "And storm, break loose." Goebbels claimed that no German was thinking of any compromise and instead that the entire nation is only thinking about a hard war. Millions of Germans listened to Goebbels on the radio as he delivered this speech about the misfortune of the past weeks and an unvarnished picture of the situation. By amassing such popular enthusiasm, Goebbels wanted to convince Hitler into giving him greater powers in running the war economy. Hitler, however, was not yet ready to bring the economy to a total war footing over the objections of his ministers. On the 23rd of July 1944, Goebbels was finally appointed Reich Plenipotentiary for total war, responsible for maximizing the manpower for the Wehrmacht and the armaments industry at the expense of sectors of the economy not essential to the war effort.